Hi, my name is Peter Hayden, and welcome to today's session on the power of data analytics with Azure. This is going to be an introductory Level 100 session. The intent is to give you a taste of what is possible within the Microsoft data analytics and AI ecosystem. I'd like to introduce to you our demonstrator customer for today, Brewery 3. Brewery 3 specialises in brewing beer, coffee and data. While the company is made up, the scenarios we go into today are very real based on the work that Data 3 has done with customers to date. The three scenarios we're going to cover today around Brewery 3's coffee business in particular is around customer service handling and quality control measures, marketing analysis of survey data, and innovations for improving the in-store experience. Some of these should resonate within your own organisation. Let's take a look at how we've used Azure, the power of data analytics, for Brewery 3's own data journey. Suppose you are the customer service manager at Brewery 3. You receive a notification on your phone that there has been a negative review on social media, in this case Twitter, represented by the low score against the threshold of sentiment. You investigate on your Power BI mobile dashboard. When you drill down into the detail and into the report and look at some of the tweets coming through, you find some of this is referring to the Toowong store in particular. This has been an ongoing problem, and finding the root cause has been an issue. It has been suspected that the quality is suffering during shipment of the coffee beans to stores, but you have no evidence. Your logistics team has recently added temperature sensors like this one as part of coffee bean shipment to stores. The device is internet connected and we can monitor real time on our Power BI dashboard. If we take a look at the temperature on the screen here and then put our finger on the temperature sensor, we'll see the temperature very shortly will start to rise. And it'll start correlating to our dashboard as well. Armed with this, as the customer service manager, you're able to track the batch of coffee and look at the time that was in transit. We open our dashboard showing our sensor telemetry, where we narrow down on the specific dates in question using our time filter. Sure enough, there was a significant period where the temperature spiked above our preferred storage temperature of 30 degrees, maxing at about 58. This has a major effect on the quality of the coffee. With this information, you're able to make changes to the shipping logistics, whether it's packaging or perhaps use of refrigerated trucks to ensure the coffee arrives at the stores in pristine quality. So what's happening under the covers? First, we have the tweet captured by Microsoft Power Automate. In this case, we're searching for all the tweets coming into Brewery 3's Twitter account and looking for tweets. We send that tweet and text information to Azure Cognitive Services API, where we do sentiment scoring analysis. It gives us a feedback around whether it's positive, which is a 1, or negative, which is 0, or somewhere in between. The data is transferred to our Power BI dataset, and we have a Power BI dashboard configured with alerts set up. When the rule conditions are met, the alert is triggered. This pops up on our mobile Power BI mobile application. We're able to then navigate and view the reports on our mobile device. To investigate the issue and help inform next steps, we have our IoT sensor collecting telemetry data, in this case temperature. The device is securely managed by an Azure IoT hub running in Brewery 3's Azure tenancy. An Azure Stream Analytics job sends that data to Power BI for real-time updates. We've built a report in Power BI allowing us to filter on data, processing hundreds of thousands of events very quickly. Our Stream Analytics job is able to send data to other destinations such as Cosmos DB for data warehousing, time series analysis, and potential other machine learning scenarios. In that scenario, we saw how we were able to use the power of Microsoft Azure to understand problems we were having, react to those, use information from our IoT devices, and then take corrective measures. For our next scenario, let's say you're now part of the marketing team at Brewery 3. You've completed a recent customer survey and looking to understand how to best analyse this information. It has come back to you in a spreadsheet format. We can see here on the screen the data quality is fairly poor. We take a look at the date of birth field and there's all sorts of formats in here, and one of the other fields, such as understanding do they own a coffee machine or not, a lot of inconsistencies in that data format. Let's look at how Azure Data Services could be useful in this case. I may take our data to our data analyst team at Brewery 3 and collaborate on cleaning this up and help us form part of the total enterprise data environment. As a business user, I want to be able to access this information in a usable format, gain insights, and be able to share this with my colleagues. Our data analyst's first job is to bring this into an organisational data lake and clean this up. Once it's ingested, we're then able to clean up our survey data and look at using data flows within Azure Synapse Analytics to do that. At every step of the data flow, we fix up the messy dates and inconsistencies of some of the fields using drag and drop interface. Let's take a look. So on the screen here in our data flow, we have the data coming in from our staging tables. We're doing some basic cleaning up with some very simple code that's as complex as Excel formulas, and then doing some mappings to fix up those problems we had with our other fields, mapping those to simple yes, no, unsure type of qualities. We're then able to then export that to our data warehouse. The benefit of going through this process is that we can set this up once, and when I want to run this survey next quarter, I'm now going to automate it and standardised way of being able to do that again. Now we have the data in our data warehouse, our data analyst team can run a query, such as this one, and view the data. So in a very simple SQL type style environment, for those that may be familiar with it, we have our data together and all of our data now cleaned up. Also, our data analysts can prepare Power BI reports like this and author that from within Azure Synapse Studio, making it very easy to prepare the data. I should mention that now that our data is in Azure, we can take stock of our data assets and surface in Azure Purview. Azure Purview acts as a data catalogue, allowing me to find other data sources that may be useful that acts as a true enabler of self-service business intelligence. In here, I can search for data sets in my organisation. For example, let's look for an invoice number. I can see a data source on the screen. If I click through that, I get information around where the location is, such as the hierarchy here on the right, and I can see other classifications that may be relevant. In this case, we have a country region identifier in here. I can also go to our contacts and see that our finance data steward is the expert owner of this data set, and I can talk to them if I need to know more information about this data. Purview should be generally available very soon. It provides a handy way to search for data and additional data sets that may be useful. For now, we're going to continue with our survey data as it is. Now that the data is prepared and ready for me to consume as a marketing user at Brewery 3, I can see this data in Power BI online. It's the same dashboard that our data analyst prepared for us earlier. Now this is useful information. I can see some general demographics and preferences from our surveyed clients, but I don't have a true understanding around what I'm trying to find, which is what provides the true indicator why people buy coffee from us or not, which we did capture in the survey. I could go back to my data specialist to determine the customer preferences and the demographics and traits that reflects that buying behaviour. However, I have the ability in Power BI to create my own machine learning model in just a few clicks. Once the model is created, I'm able to augment this into my existing survey data set and reveal deeper insights. Here is one I have already trained, to predict whether the customer in the survey bought coffee or not. The performance here is 80%, which is a good starting point for our model, but could be improved. If I click on this button here, I can see what are the top indicators as to why customers will buy coffee from us. And I can see that it is customer satisfaction in the year that they were born. From the outputs of the machine learning model, I now have a new data model with a prediction score tied against each of the survey answers. Let's take a closer look at the report I've built with using information from our survey data and predicted outcomes brought together. If we take a look at the number in the top right, it is the average prediction score for our survey. For now, all we need to know is the higher the number, the more likely someone's going to buy coffee from us. If I take a look at one of the features on this report, which is the owns coffee machine, and I filter on that information, we can see that the prediction score doesn't change terribly much, whether they do have a coffee machine or they don't. so it doesn't have a major bearing on that prediction around someone will buy coffee from us. Now we know that the competitor satisfaction was an attribute that did have some influence. If I change my current score for our competitors to say between 3 and 5, so they've got a high satisfaction with the competitor, we can see in the top right our prediction score goes down. So it makes sense, more satisfied that one of our customers are with the competition, less likely to buy coffee from us. And so conversely, if I put a lower score in for the competitor satisfaction, their prediction goes up. Let's now take a look at the graph on the bottom right of this screen, where I've plotted in here the prediction score for every year for the response in the survey. I can see there is a sharp rise about 1980. If I change my filter and focus on that decade from 1980 to 1990, we can see our prediction score goes up again. So this might be an area we will target in terms of demographics. Let's now take a look at the geography, particularly the southern states of Victoria and Tasmania. The larger the blue circle on this screen, the more likely that based on the low customer satisfaction with our competitors and the demographic age range in here, more likely they buy coffee from us. So in Tasmania, we can expect, with this information at hand, targeting those individuals, we have a high likelihood of success for them to buy coffee from Brewery 3. Now in Victoria, that's a different story. And we may need to find different tact and different information from our survey data to try a different approach for that market. As I've shown you, with the Microsoft Data Analytics platform, we're able to get insights relatively quickly without writing any more complex code than an Excel formula. Let's take a look at what we've uncovered in this scenario. We started with our data set from customer surveys in an Excel file. Our data team uploaded this into a data lake. Data flows and Azure Synapse we use to clean the data with a no-code experience and add this into our data warehouse. We're also able to search the data catalogue from other data that may be relevant. Data is then made available for reporting analysis inside of Power BI. We use this data model and applied automated machine learning from within Power BI. With a better understanding of the predictors that will affect our customer buying behaviour, we can create targeted marketing campaigns and address gaps in the market. So in this scenario, we've seen how we started with a very messy Excel file, but through the power of Azure Data Analytics, created unique experiences and deeper insight that we can use to drive our marketing campaigns. Let's now look at our final scenario. The innovation group at Brewery 3 have been asked to understand how they can improve the in-store experience. One of the ideas that was selected is to develop a pilot system to be able to greet customers by name and anticipate their coffee order. This is helpful when we have different staff serving our customers, or we have our customers visiting our stores in different locations. For our initial prototype, we're going to use our laptop, a USB web camera, and a bit of magic and smarts from Azure AI to improve that in-store experience. So we're going to start by enrolling Kerry, one of our customers, into the system. So Kerry has ordered a long black. And with her permission, I'm adding Kerry and capturing her image and then training our model to recognise her. So the next time that Kerry comes into our cafe, we'll be able to recognise her and anticipate that coffee order. I can say, welcome back Kerry, would you like a long black? While we're only pilot at initial store, the trial is going well. And when rolled out, Kerry can walk into any of our stores and have a personalised experience. Let's take a look at what is happening here. For the enrolment part, we're taking a photo and recording the customer's details and training our model against the Azure Face API. For recognition of a customer, the customer walks in, a video feed is trying to detect the face of a human and checks against our Face API model to determine if they can find a person that matches the records. If it does, it will return the name and their coffee order to the person serving at the counter. They can then greet them, confirm their order quickly, and provide a positive experience for the customer. For Brewery 3, this is an exciting start to the innovation journey, applying off-the-shelf AI to improve the overall customer experience. That brings a close to the 3 scenarios we have explored. Thank you for joining the session. We've covered a range of exciting services enabling us to collect physical sensor data, process this inside of the Azure data platform, analyse information using Power BI, machine learning, and provide the tools to help manage and govern your data estate. I hope that gives you some ideas where you can apply data, analytics and AI in your own organisation. If you'd like to take part in an Innovation Discovery workshop to explore what may be possible for yourself, I invite you to contact your Data3 account representative or myself directly with the contact details on the screen. I look forward to seeing the innovation you can achieve unlocking the power of data with Azure.